Welcome to the land of the people who talk about games. It is, of course, clock time. I wonder if you can hear the tea machine in the background. There's a tea machine making sounds akin to. uh, Usually in these episodes, you get the sound of a clock in the background. This time, you get the sound of a gurgling tea machine.
It's tea time.
It's tea time. I am aspiring artist Phil Frost, aka the Game God. And I'm joined by ambitious angler Travis Crouton, aka
Not the game god.
oh, he's not the game. We don't know who he is, but all we know is he's not me. Could be anyone else. We're here to talk about our top 10 favorite video games of all time. Because everyone loves top 10 lists, and the only knowledge we possess in the world is knowledge of video games. We don't know about anything else. That's all we can do.
That would be very sad.
Yeah.
How do we know how to breathe?
Let me just throw out very quickly, because I'm sure this is going to take a long time as is. Very quickly, I want to mention my 11 and 12 honorable mentions. Number 12, Speedy Egbert 2, a platforming game about an egg who wants to not blow up or get stabbed. It doesn't sound very good, does it? Well, I liked it. Mainly because you could make your own levels, and I love making my own levels. Plus, why would I want to be a plumber or a hedgehog when I could be an egg? That's the superior platforming mascot. And my number 11, the one that almost just barely missed the list, it was my number 10 originally, The Sims 4. I love The Sims. The Sims 4 is the most expansive and expensive of all the Sims 4. Not all the Sims 4s. There's not multiple.
There's more than one, boy.
Of all the Sims games. But I find with The Sims 4, I do get bored rather quickly. Like, once I play the game maybe 10 times after buying it, it starts to become pretty hard to find new things to do without dropping a bunch of cash to EA. So, it missed the list for me. But let's move on to my real pick before we move to Travis's number 10. My number 10 is a game that I wager, I'm willing to bet tons of money on this, that not a single person listening to this will know what this game is. Queensryche Promised Land.
Well, looks like I'm getting paid.
Well, no, I guess you are technically listening to me in real life. Queensryche Promised Land. I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's that great of a game. If we were making a top 10 best games list, this would not appear. But it is among my favorite because it is one of the artsiest, weirdest games ever. With some of the strangest atmosphere you could have in a game. It's a game made by, this is where it gets weird, it's a game made by a rock group, a rock band known as Queensryche. Queensryche, they made a game to promote their album Promised Land. And it's just this weird, trippy point-and-click game where you're wandering a forest full of these weird, like, shadows and jack-in-the-boxes, and there's multiple ways the whole world can explode. It's a crazy, really, it feels like all the people who worked on it were on something when they made it. They were on something crazy. And they made something crazy, and I respect it for its craziness. This has some of the craziest atmosphere of a game I've ever experienced. It is so wild. And if you want to play it, good luck. Good luck finding this. Probably can't. But that is my number 10, Queensryche Promised Land. What is your number 10, sir?
Minecraft.
That's number 10?
Yeah, number 10 is Minecraft.
I can't believe this.
Is it number 10 now? No, but I've kind of pictured the feeling that I've got in the beginning. Like when I
Hmm.
first played it, yeah, it's a number 10. If I were to rate it as my feeling now, it's probably not even on the list.
Oh, it dropped even lower. Wow. Okay.
Like Minecraft's pretty good, but because my genre of games is like way out there, I have a
Hmm.
much bigger field to pick from. But in terms of exploration, Minecraft is good. So if you're exploration, it's where you like to be. Minecraft's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
An exceptional game.
yeah. I could praise Minecraft all day, and the fact that it's still being updated after all these years, that's something that's very rare. Okay, I didn't expect that to come so soon. Number 9 is a game. Maybe some of you will know this, but it's also a pretty niche game. Ultimate Ride Disney Coaster. This is a game about building your own roller coasters and then riding said roller coasters. It's like a roller coaster simulator and roller coaster building simulator at the same time. And I always, you're gonna see a theme across my list. Almost all these games have customization. Just it's busting out the seams with customization options. There's everything in this game you can customize it, even down to if you play this on PC, which I think is the only way you can play it. So I don't know why I said that. You can go into the game files. You can drag and drop your own JPEG images into the files, and then you can have a roller coaster that instead of being made of wood is made of like a picture of your friend's face. I don't know why you do that, but you can. You can customize it that far. And yeah, it's once again kind of like Queen's Ark Promised Land. This game is really good at creating atmosphere. If you go on a sci-fi themed roller coaster or make one, it's very immersive. It's very atmospheric. The music goes with it as well. But then again, you can have something completely different. You can be in the Wild West. You can be just in a grass field, but that's kind of boring. My point is, though, there's a lot of variety. There's tons of options, and it's easy to make. It's very easy. I was a kid when I first played this game, and I could make roller coasters that were incredibly complex without having to look up a bunch of crazy tutorials or anything. And the reason I picked the Disney version specifically is just because simply it has more stuff. It's not like I love Disney that much to where that's selling me on it. It's just it has way more stuff than any of the other Ultimate rides I've played, and I like having access to more things. That's it. But that is my number 9. What is yours?
Number 9. We're gonna go with the Lego Star Wars. I think that's the what was that, 3 or like the trilogy or something?
Well, do you like the complete saga that has all 6 movies, or do you like specifically 1 through 3 or 4 through 6?
I want to say it was the old one, like
The oldest one?
Yeah, the oldest
Okay,
one.
so you like the I forget what that's called. I think it's just called Lego Star Wars the video game, which is movies 1 through 3.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
I remember that being great. I don't know
yeah.
if it is now, but I remember it.
Oh,
Being
it
pretty
is.
great.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you that I prefer the prequel levels to the post prequel levels. They're a bit faster and they're more iconic to me at least. Then again, I am a fan of the prequels, so might be skewed. Do you remember anything specifically that you like about that as opposed to other Lego games?
The story. It
Yeah.
felt more. I don't know. It felt more like, oh, this is pretty good. It's the movie
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. You can say that about a lot of Lego games because a lot of them are based on movies, but I think with the Lego Star Wars specifically,
Bugs. The bugs are crazy.
the bugs.
Yeah, like I would run into like glitches that would just be insane.
Oh, I don't remember that.
If you spent your days fighting all the droids and whatever came to you, eventually they would just get stuck in like death.
Oh,
But they would still be alive. Like their parts would just be everywhere, but they'd just be shooting you from a gun that's like not even there. It'd be like all the way back there, and the laser would just fly and hit you from somewhere.
yeah. It is interesting though. I think the general consensus amongst Lego game fans is they like the complete saga that's their favorite, which does include that, but you're singling out the first half of the movies.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
those are kind of the
Yeah.
key ones.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Those are my favorite, but yeah, that's an interesting pick. That's an interesting pick. I am glad to see a Lego game on here, though. I'm a huge fan of the Lego games. I'm an expert, you might say. I've played all of them many a time. Okay, number 8 is my tie between two games. You can take either one of these, and you're gonna be fine. This is my favorite racing game that exists, and it's not Mario Kart. I feel like most people's favorite racing game would be Mario Kart.
No.
I disagree. I think the best one is either Cars 2, the video game, or Cars 3, Driven to Win.
I'm gonna go out there and say none of those are the best.
What's your favorite? I'm curious.
Need for Speed.
Okay.
Realistic, but if I had to go like to a animated version, yeah, Cars is pretty good. It beats all the other driving games. Like it's a great game.
Yeah,
well
there's
designed.
Yeah, in my opinion, comparing Cars 2, I won't compare it to Need for Speed because I don't know that much about it. I've played one Need for Speed game, but I don't remember much about it. So here's what I'll say about Cars 2 and Cars 3 compared to Mario Kart and some of the Sonic racing games, I guess, if that's something you've played. What I think it does better is the drifting is less confusing, which I like. The drifting seems more straightforward. It's easy to wrap your head around. 2, the maps, no, I can't say the maps seem more diverse. The maps in Mario Kart, probably, they're the most diverse. But the way the cars actually handle, and also the way that the shortcuts are organized and the way you have to maneuver to get to them, I think Cars 2 and Cars 3 pull that off the best of those 3 racing games I mentioned. And the only difference between Cars 2 and Cars 3 is pretty much the characters in the game, and to an extent, the race tracks themselves, but even some of those are exactly the same across those games. So, the Cars 3 Driven to Win is pretty much just a re-release of Cars 2, but they made some stuff a little different. Both of them are great, though. I still play Cars 3 Driven to Win to this day when I want to do a racing game, despite the fact that I think Cars 3 as a movie is pretty mediocre. But it's okay. It's not top 10 favorite movies. It's top 10 favorite video games.
Number 8 would have to be Lego Indiana Jones.
Oh, we're getting another Lego.
Yeah.
Now, is this Lego Indiana Jones 2 or is it the original? Because 2 is the one with the level building.
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay. Now this, unlike the previous one, I feel like most Lego fans would want to slap you for this one. Because this is one of the most hated Lego games.
Nah, this is amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I love this one. Most people don't.
This is what Lego games were made to be like. Yeah, I mean it's pretty exceptional about like the levels itself, like in the story. But when it comes to level building, that's where things can get wild.
Yeah, the level building was definitely what drew me in as a kid. But I will say, just to appease the people who just hate this game compared to other Lego games, the one thing I will say it doesn't do as well as other Lego games is a lot of the levels, especially the bonus levels, they're very substanceless. The actual in-game like movie levels, they're short, but I think they're good, even though they are shorter than most Lego game levels. But the bonus level specifically, there was one bonus level when I went back and replayed this game recently, where the whole level consists of you throwing a spear with one guy at a wall. The other guy jumps on the spear and then it blows something up, I think. Then you do that again. Then you do it a third time. And then the level's over. And that was a little ridiculous for me. But aside from that, I would argue that this is one of the better Lego games. Unless you're someone who just really hates short levels, in which case, yeah, you're gonna hate it. This also has the most levels of almost any Lego game. This has a crazy amount of levels, especially if you count the bonus levels. This one's going
Yeah.
off the charts.
Yeah.
Okay, number 7. I've mentioned this game in one of the Minecraft videos, and that's because it's iconic to me. And many people love this franchise, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Why did I choose this one over the original? Just because it has more stuff.
Yeah, more stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's basically the same game, just they added more. And also, as I mentioned before, I love customization options. This one gives you way more options for customization than the original. This one you can make your own land. You can make your own landscape to build your park in before you even start the game. You can choose exactly what attractions are going to pop up in your shop to buy. Whereas in the original, it's just kind of set for you. You have no choice what you're going to get. If I don't want any bathrooms to ever appear, which I don't know why you'd want that, that'd be terrible. But you could do it. You can remove bathrooms from existence, and the game will let you do it. It doesn't care if it causes catastrophic failure for your park. It just lets you do anything, which might seem bad, but I think there's a beauty in the lack of restrictions it has on the player customization options. It really just lets you go all in and do whatever you want. And of course, I mean, just the joy of seeing your own theme park come to life and people visit it and give you money, scamming these people out of their money for sodas that are ridiculously overpriced or something. I probably played this game more so than any other game on my PC when I was young. So it had to be on the list, Roller Coaster Tycoon. 2. Don't play any of the ones after 2, because I've heard they're not good.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We got number 7. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I got the other ones, you know.
Yeah.
1, it was the start of the Black Ops. Then 2 came out and it was amazing. And then 3 and you're kind of like, okay, something happened here.
Yeah.
And then 4, something really happened.
I've only ever played 2 and 3.
So
and I definitely thought 2 was better.
2 is, in my opinion, the best out of the Black Ops.
Yeah.
It has way much more to offer. The story is great. The zombies, if you want to do that, it's great. The maps, everything, it's all great. It's just, it's a great game. What it was Black Ops 2 that we played.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
JoJo destroyed us.
Yeah, the only time I've ever had fun playing a Call of Duty Black Ops game was at your birthday party that you were talking about, where we played with your Uncle JoJo, and he destroyed us. And I shot an ambulance over and over until it exploded and killed me, which, that's pretty fun. I like that, it's got some realism. Don't just shoot an ambulance in the gas tank over and over. That's not going to end well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good times. Most of these games are on here because they have good times with them. They were good games, and they had some pretty great times with them. So I was like, oh, I got to put them on here.
With that, okay, number 6. I think number 6 is going to be a weird choice for someone who is currently above the age of, I don't know, 12. Because this is definitely a game designed for little kids. 100%. But you know what? I enjoyed this game a lot when I was 18 years old. Mainly because of the customization options. I'm a sucker for them. They will get me every time. But man, this game was way more enjoyable than I expected it to be. And it is Skylanders Imaginators. Now, every other Skylanders game, if it was on there, I feel like that'd be a little weird for me to say. Because they are definitely, everything about it is tailored for little kids. But as someone who loves customization as much as myself, being able to design as many custom characters as I want, and see them traverse a world, be able to play the entire game as no one but my own characters. I don't have to deal with any of these randos. They can all be my own characters. There's something really appealing to me about that. It's like, it's no longer a Skylanders game about Skylanders. It's a Skylanders game about me. I've taken the game and I've made it about me. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess putting it this high because I like my own characters in the game is kind of goofy, but the way they do the customization options, they give you a lot to work with. You can make some really goofy trash looking boys, and that's not great, but you can make them look like real Skylanders products that you might see in the store. The customization options are in depth enough to where you can make something that looks respectable, at least as a Toys to Life character. And we dropped at least like $120 getting customization like boys to put on the portal so I could make more guys. It really spoke to the customization love of my soul. Anyway, yeah, that's enough of that. On to you. What's your number 6?
Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, I know almost nothing about this game.
Okay, so there's plenty of Modern Warfare. You got Modern Warfare Warzone, which that's out there if you enjoy dying.
Yeah, I know of that.
If you like dying a lot, even though you might be pretty good at, like, let's say Call of Duty or just your basic Modern Warfare games, you go to Warzone, well, I'm sorry, you're probably going to die. And no matter if you're, like, number 1 in your division in Black Ops, you're probably going to die in Warzone. But other than that, Modern Warfare it's got some generally good games, but the second one it's the best. It gives you like these modes, like these I think they were called like operations or something like that, where you kind of like it gives you a mission, like, oh, survive the waves of dudes, and you get to like set up your defenses and stuff like that. I think that was called like body count. I think that's what it was called, but it gives you all these interesting scenario missions to beat, which was it was pretty enjoyable. Not gonna lie, except for once you got to the harder ones where it's kind of like, man, I keep dying all the time. But then you go to the campaign, which that was interesting too. So Modern Warfare 2 it's a good game. It's up there. Of course, most of mine, once you hear them all, you're gonna be like, what was this? They're all old, yeah, because the old stuff's the best.
Yeah, nostalgia, since this is a favorite list and not a best list, nostalgia is definitely going to find its way onto this list a lot, so that's probably why most of these are old games. Speaking of nostalgia, this is one of the most nostalgic games for many people, and it was something that I mentioned earlier that I liked because of Travis's list. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I chose the Complete Saga just because it's more stuff. I guess there's 2 themes to my list: customization options and a lot of stuff. Yeah, this game, people say that this Lego game specifically, most people rate it higher than other Lego games because of nostalgia alone. I don't think that's the case. It probably is a big factor, but Lego games, especially the more recent ones, coming from the perspective of someone in October of 2021, most of the recent Lego games, they're complex and detailed almost to a fault. I think there's a certain level of simplicity that Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga captures perfectly that just makes it so great. Like, if I think about a Lego game like Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, I replayed that within this past year. The vast majority of those levels are all on some spaceship that looks kind of the same as all the other spaceship levels. You don't get a lot of variety. With Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, despite the fact that there's almost, what would that be? I think there's 35 levels? Maybe? Somehow every single one of them manages to be unique and iconic and memorable, even to this day. When I went back and replayed it recently, That's what really made me know it's not just nostalgia. This Lego game specifically really has some bit of magic to its simple, straightforward formula that none of the other Lego games have been able to capture to that extent. Therefore, I reluctantly say, therefore agreeing with the vast majority of people, that this is the best Lego game. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
Well, that was a speech.
Yeah.
Number 5, Operation Flashpoint Elite.
Yep. I know a little bit, but only from what you've told me.
So if you like shooting games, well, it may not be the best mechanics for that. Because obviously you got Call of Duty and all those. But if you like customization
I do.
and shooter games, well, this is probably the one for you. Even though it's extremely old and you're probably never going to find it. But if you do happen to find it, you'll enjoy it if you like the customization. Do you want to get blown up by 50 tanks? You can. Do you want to have a team of 5 dudes going up against a team of 100 machine gun guys? Yeah, sure. You want to climb a mountain just to die? Yeah, it can happen. Kind of make the world and the scenarios and the enemies and your team as well, however you want it to be. And then you get to play as one of the people, like one of the soldiers. So it's pretty great as a game because it gives that customization that I like. But then it adds the shooter, like first person shooter, which is also another thing that I like, and it just makes pretty epic game. If they made that modern, like up to date, it's like, hey, there's a game that's just like this, but it's new. It's like on PlayStation like 20 or something. And that'd probably be amazing because the graphics, everything would be amazing. Because the mechanics didn't work, and if you died, everybody had the same death animation. So
yeah, that sounds great. I like that.
But the idea is great.
Like I said, I don't know too much about it aside from what you've told me, but from what you have told me, it does sound more appealing than most shooting games I've heard. Customization options, what can I say? My number 4 is yet another Toys to Life game where you gotta buy all of the characters individually and just drop tons of monies. But I think this game, it's less important to do so than something like Skylanders Imaginators. In Skylanders Imaginators, every time I wanted a new custom character, I had to go out and buy a new guy. With Disney Infinity 3.0, which is my number 4, you only need one character, really. Because that's not where the fun comes in this game. It's not from the story mode. It's not from any of that. It's from the toy box mode, which is where you can't customize characters, which is unfortunate, but you can customize everything else. You want the sky to change? The sky will change. I don't know, that's such a weird thing to say. You can make games within this game, which is what I love. I've recreated board games I like. I've recreated video games I like. You can make tons of stuff that you like within this game, which is something I've always wanted them to come out with. It's a video game where you can make video games within the video game. And
dream within a dream.
Yes. And Disney Infinity 3.0, why is it better than 2.0 or 1.0? Well, it's not just more stuff, though that's definitely part of it.
It's more stuff.
It's also because the toy box mode in this one, if you want to buy specific items, you can just go to the shop, look for what you want, and buy it. Which you might think, okay, why is that? So that just sounds pretty normal. Well, the old ones didn't do that. You go to Disney Infinity 1.0, if you want new items, you got to go to a roulette wheel and spin it, and you might get something good, or you might get complete garbage. And that's not fun. I don't want to waste my money getting 50 different types of street lights. I want to buy things I'm actually going to use. And Disney Infinity 3.0 allows me to do that pretty much from the get-go. I can just go out the gate, any bit of money I get, and just throw it. The stuff's pretty cheap, too. Not real money. This is in-game money, by the way. All the in-game stuff's pretty cheap, so you can amass quite the collection of parts. to make levels with in an instant. And I mean, in all honesty, if it were not for the toy box mode, this would not appear anywhere on the list, even close. It's just the toy box mode is all I care about in Disney Infinity 3.0. That's it. And it was good enough to get it all the way to 4.
Okay. Number 4, we got Gears of War 3.
Here's another one I know almost nothing about.
Made by your best friends, Epic Games.
Oh.
So, you know who those guys are. Well, if you know who those guys are, then if you never heard of Gears of War, well, you're missing out. Gears of War, you're a team of mercenary soldiers, whatever you want to call them, that you're going around fighting alien invasions, kind of like Halo, but they're really messed up. But it's great. Gears of War 3 is the best. The story is amazing. All the different things you fight. It's I don't know. It's amazing. Customization, landscape, where you find yourself. Well, not really customization. You can't really customize yourself, but definitely your loadouts. Like if you don't like this, go find something else. In terms of weapons, but landscape, settings, atmosphere, all the different types of enemies you're gonna fight. The mechanics are great. The story's great. Gears of War 3, yes, that's what I tell you. Yes, okay. It's an older game. Sure, it's not old as like dirt, like Operation Flashpoint, but it's older, and it's just as good as any of the newer games, in my opinion. Yeah, go get it today.
Oh man, not a sponsor. Now we get on to my top 3, or our top 3, I should say. And for me, the top 3 is where things really take a step up. I would give all of these games an 11 out of 10 if I could, in rating, if not higher. These are the cream of the crop for video games for me. They feel like they were tailored to me specifically. They're just that good. Number 3, pretty recent game, so it's not all nostalgia. Although this game it does prey on your nostalgia quite a bit. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. All your favorite characters are there. And in fact, there's way more of your favorite characters than any of the old ones, by a large margin. You got like 80-something boys if you get all the DLC. And yeah, no other fighting game, in my opinion, has made such a diverse roster, not just in terms of who the characters are and what games they come from, though that is true, but also the movesets. Like, if I play something like Soul Calibur 6, which I do like a lot of the characters, yeah, I can memorize how they're different, but they sort of blend together. There's a lot of similarities between them. With Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I can memorize all of their movesets to an extent, because they're all so unique, so diverse, especially the DLC boys. They're some of my favorites because they're some of the most unique ones. And with, I like having a lot of stuff. With over 80-something characters in a fighting game, it's hard to get bored, even if you've played it tons of times, because you can just keep switching characters and keep getting new experiences constantly. There's also tons of stages. There's almost as many stages as there are people. Could be the same amount, I don't know. And then if you're a completionist, man, try to get all those spirits. It takes years. This is one of the most... I don't remember the last time I was as excited for a game to release as I was when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out, and it did not disappoint. If you're looking for a platform fighter game, or just a fighting game in general, this is definitely my recommendation. This is it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, I'd have to say, got all your favorite characters, and about 30 of the other ones, you probably have no idea who they are, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, because there's like 50 other ones.
They're great, even the people you don't know.
Yeah.
We got, we're getting to the good stuff now. I mean, all the other stuff was good too.
This is beyond good.
Number 3. Halo.
Ah,
Halo, as in general, is pretty great. All the games are great, but if I had to pick one out of all of them, it'd have to be Halo 3.
yeah, this is the one I thought you'd pick.
Uh, I think so. I think it would have to be Halo 3. Story development. I like story and development.
Yeah,
If the game has that, a great story, great development, the mechanics, if those are great too, it's done. It's over with.
yeah,
But it does it all well. And settings, the setting changes. So I'm not like just standing in a mountain shooting aliens. I'm going to different places, different styles. I want to say even Halo 3 has a new enemy in it called the Flood,
mm,
which are like infected people, which that changes things crazy. Halo 3 has, well, most of the Halo games have exploration in it. You do have a big area to like go and explore before you move to like the next area. That's okay. It's not super exploration, but it's got it in there. But yeah, Halo 3. I had to throw Halo in there. I mean,
yeah,
it's good.
yeah. When you mentioned some of the other ones, some of the other shooting games that aren't, they're not like necessarily similar to Halo, but they're of a similar genre. I was like, I expect to see Halo somewhere in there. So yeah, top three. My number two is another recent game, like Ultimate, Smash Ultimate. And it's also from Nintendo. Nintendo is knocking it out of the park. This is a game that surprised me. This is a game that, unlike all the other games on this list, I didn't want, or at least I didn't think I did. But once I got it, I was lost in a land of wonder. A medieval land of wonder and houses, specifically three of them. Fire Emblem, three houses, makes my number two. Because this, if you'll notice, most of the games on my list, not all, but the vast majority, are multiplayer games. I just prefer multiplayer games across the board. Single player games, not really my thing, especially story driven single player games. I don't know, there's something about them I usually can't get into them. But this one, yeah, I bought it with almost no information about what it was going to be. I don't know. I I
What is
just
this? I don't care. I'm getting it.
no. Here's David, my friend David. He asked me, "Are you going to get this game?" I hadn't even heard of it before because I never cared about Fire Emblem before. I never considered buying it, and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna buy that. That doesn't really look like my thing. I've seen gameplay of some of the other Fire Emblem games. It's not really my thing." But then the day it came out, I remember waking up and just randomly scrolling through my YouTube. I saw just someone making a preview video of the different characters in all three of the houses. And just seeing the characters alone and the diversity amongst the roster of students, that was enough to take me from not caring at all to, oh, you know what? I'm interested in this game now. In fact, I've got my Switch in my hands. I'm purchasing it right now. And I purchased it, didn't even watch the trailer. I bought it without watching the trailer. From the moment the first cutscene started, I was blown away. I was like, this is not what I was expecting. This is way better than I was expecting. And I've never had a game, especially a story driven game, hold me from the beginning, just really grab my attention and not let go until the game, not even when the game was over, but when the game is over for the fourth time. I played this game 4 times because I liked it that much. And I've never done that with, I think, any other story based game. So it had to go this high because, yeah, clearly I love it because otherwise I wouldn't have put so many hours into it.
Well, here we are at number 2. SimCity. Now, you may have heard of SimCity as like all these other ones. Well, the best, in my opinion, is SimCity Society Destinations. Now, there's SimCity Society, and then there's an expansion that adds destinations to it.
I've never even heard of SimCity Society. I didn't know
So-
that was a thing.
So, it's the best. Not only can you create the landscape to build your city, you can go. Well, I'm sure the rest of them are similar, You can build the style, whether that's retro, old farmland, or whatever you want. But destinations is where it adds the expansion, where you can add tourist attractions like geysers, tar pits, coral reefs. You can then like make your place a destination hotspot, hence the name. Where you have to add like tourist attractions, bed and breakfast, airports. You got to just go crazy with it and make your city the best. Now, if you don't like that, I mean, I don't do that part, but I do like the destinations add stuff that I would use. But the whole making my place a tourist attraction, I don't do that part.
Yeah.
But everything else, yeah, I use it and like building my city and going up to some random guy on the street and naming him JoJo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for me, the only SimCity game I've ever played, is it a SimCity game? I think it is the mobile game for Kindle Fire. I don't even remember what it's called. Have you played any SimCity mobile games?
It's like build it or something.
That might be it.
I
That
don't
might
know.
be it. Yeah, and
That's
that,
garbage.
yeah, that one's
That's
not great.
garbage.
I know for a fact the other ones are better because you can't expect much out of the mobile game. You really can't. Okay, my number one. I think it's the fact that this game hasn't appeared yet makes it kind of obvious what it is. If for anyone who knows me, it is Minecraft. It is Travis's number 10 game. Minecraft is my number one because, well, before I even talk about the game, let me just say the reason it has to be my number one. It's the only game I've repeatedly played for over 10 years now. Just constantly, even like at least once a month, if not more. I'll play Minecraft. It's that much of a mainstay for me. Two, it's the only game I've ever considered and followed through on purchasing over 10 times on different systems. I have so many versions of Minecraft. Any version of Minecraft you can name, I got it, unless it's on a console I never owned. Like, I don't know, Wii U. Don't have that. I don't have a Wii U, so what do you expect from me? But I have so many versions of this game. I've bought so many, you know, I have Bedrock Edition on my PlayStation, so I've bought so many texture packs, mashup packs. I've put so much time into Minecraft, and much like Disney Infinity 3.0, if you do creative mode and stuff, you can essentially make your own games within Minecraft, especially if you start messing around with command blocks. And that's amazing. Minecraft is a fun survival game, it's a fun creative game. It's kind of an art form if you make it that. You can, I mean, if you just go on YouTube and search up like amazing Minecraft creations, you can see tons and tons of stuff that looks just insane, look beyond anything you could imagine someone building with blocks, and they've done it. And I think just the whole, like the fact that Minecraft won't die, and don't get me wrong, I don't want it to, but the fact that it won't die, it just keeps coming back, and it keeps being prevalent online. And people have done so many things with it. You see music video parodies of all things. You see people bringing popular movies and TV shows into Minecraft and making videos about it. It's become such a staple of the gaming world. It's become such a big thing, and I think that it is as big as it is for a good reason. It is really a wonderful game, especially when you first play it. There's something so magical about it compared to every other game on my list and every game I've ever heard. Yeah, it's really the ultimate exploration and creativity game across the board. I can't name a game that does either of those two things better. Minecraft, number one.
Yeah, I mean Minecraft is it's great as a game. Back when it first came out, I would say it was amazing. I could see myself playing it for hours. But now, if I were to look at my game list, I kind of did these games as, well, what would I spend the most time doing at one time? Like, how long would I sit here and play this game nonstop?
Yeah.
Minecraft would probably be the least out of all of these.
Okay.
Mainly because Minecraft has a story, I guess, but you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But like all these other ones, there is a story, and if you stick to it, you can spend hours, and you're like, wait, I said, what have I been doing in my life?
I mean, yeah, if I were to rank mine the same way, the way I ranked mine, by the way, was I just looked at two games that I considered putting on the list back to back against one another, and I said if I could only play one of these games and the other had to be erased from existence, which one would I want? And Minecraft beat down all these easily. Like I wouldn't take any of these games over Minecraft. If I just had to have only one video game that I could play, it would be Minecraft. Because if there's a game I miss playing, I'll just make my own version in Minecraft. It won't be as good probably, but it will. I can do something, and that's wonderful to me. And I think I could spend, out of all the games on my list, I would spend the most time in Minecraft, even though there is no story. Because I mean, clearly I love customization, I love creativity. I can just let my creativity run wild for hours and hours if I wanted to. I just usually don't, because I'm like, I got other stuff to do with my time.
But speaking of games, where if you could choose a game, and that's the only game you could play for the rest of your life, my number one is Sims 2 Castaways.
I didn't expect it to be your number one, but man, okay.
Sims 2 Castaways is by far the best Sims game, the best life simulator, the best anything in the world. It's the game you want. It is. You can create your own little team of people that you guys are going on a cruise in a yacht. You can create them. Gotta say, customization, it's not as great as the other Sims games, but you can make them look pretty great. Then you guys wreck, and then you have to live on deserted islands with monkeys that you can give bananas, and they become your friends. And you have to go find your crewmates by traveling to other islands and living on that island, and then you become friends with them. You can start a weird cult tribe.
Yeah.
They can steal your food.
Yeah, that definitely happened a lot when we played. There's a gnome.
Yeah, there's a gnome where if you want to blow yourself up, you can. Why would you do that? But yeah, you can. The exploration on the islands, you can go into caves, you can go everywhere. There's different resources. You can grow your own food at your house.
What I appreciate most about Sims Castaway. Is there more than one Sims Castaway game, or is it just this one?
It's
Sims
just
2
this
Castaway.
one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
There was Sims 2, Sims 2 Pets, and then there was Sims 2 Castaways.
Yeah,
that's the only one.
What I appreciate about Sims 2 Castaway, more so than any other Sims game, is that it's so unique. Like most of the other Sims game, even the Pets one,
they got similar to
they're basically just the original Sims game, but in a different setting or with extra stuff. This feels like a completely new game, just with Sims elements in it. And I wish they would be that adventurous with it today, with new Sims games. I wish they would come out with something else similar to this. Cause, yeah, I only played it once, and that was when Travis brought it so that we could both check it out. He brought it one day, and I think we played it pretty much the entire day on whatever Saturday that was, from 12 something to 8 something or 9 something. And yeah, I don't remember thinking a single time, man, I wish we would move on to something else. Like it holds your attention. It keeps you wanting to keep going. So even though I played it once, I can definitely see the appeal.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to go and you can name your monkeys, and they can bring you stuff back that you're probably never going to use, but you can lose your mind.
Yeah,
like that was
definitely can lose your mind.
Well, yeah, that was great. You can grow a beard longer than your body. It's a great game. I wish it would be remastered.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Or redone. Like the EA's just like, you know what? We're gonna make another Castaways game. Like way back then. All right, let's go.
Yeah, even if there's a bunch of garbage DLC you gotta pay for, I'll pay for it.
It's just that good.
I think if there were one game on my list that I could ask for them to remaster and have it given to me today, it would be Well, I'm kind of getting Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga remastered because they're coming out with Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga soon. We hope. They they said 2020, then it went to 2021, and now it's 2022. So it might just become a myth or a legend. But I think if I had to choose one, I'd go with. I was gonna say Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, but now that I've looked at my list, I gotta say remaster Queensryche Promised Land
Oh
because
my
that would be
gosh.
insane. What would they do? What would they do with it?
Yeah, if they remastered Promised Land to today's graphic compatibilities, oh my gosh.
It would be the greatest game I've ever played. It'd be so wild. But that's never gonna happen. So I guess I'll settle for a remaster of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Or just make a good Roller Coaster Tycoon game again. So that's our top 10. In the future, I hope that we will do a top 10 least favorite games list, least favorite video games. I definitely have some lined up. I don't know if I have 10. There's a few on my list that I'm like, they're not that bad. But I feel like that would be a fun one to just just absolutely
These are
hate
straight
hate on
garbage.
these games. I'll tell you, if that video ever does get made, I can't guarantee much, but I'm definitely gonna hate on number one as hard as I can because number one is a horrible game. It should have never been made. It's just scamming people out of money. Yeah, so look forward to that. I feel like we have to make it now because I'm talking it up. We got to do it. If you still exist and are still listening, feel free to leave in the comments some of your favorite games. Do you agree with our picks? Do you think some of our picks are trash? You probably think Queensryche Promised Land's a pretty bad pick because you never heard of it. But check it out. You probably won't be pleasantly surprised. Check it out anyway.
You'll be
It's a trip.
confused more than anything.
Yeah, it might give you nightmares. That's all. Except, we gotta hear what favorite game is. What's your favorite game,
Mahjong.